today I'm going to try out every other Samsung product that was introduced in the Samsung Galaxy Unpacked. There were things that are unexpected, and I'm going to talk about the new One UI 8. Before we start the video, please like the video, subscribe to my channel and comment something nice because this will motivate me to make more videos, update about most exciting tech. Cheers! Now let's talk about the new Samsung Watch 8 because it has really impressed me as it's got the new design known as the squircle design. The squircle design is really more intuitive and more friendly than the old design. Old design looks really cool in visually rather than the new design. But in terms of comfort and in terms of customers buying the watch, I feel like this watch is more justifiable rather than the old watch, and I pick comfort more than the design. So that's why I think I should go with the Watch 8 rather than the older versions. And the second reason is because they have got more protected screens, means they have got something known as the sapphire glass, which means if it like drops on the floor, it shouldn't break out, or if it's dropped sideways, it shouldn't break out because it's got the new aluminium frames, the new armor aluminium construction frames, if you were to say it like that. In terms of brightness, it's got 3000 nits of brightness, which is sufficient if you're outside, and it's more light as well, which means if I wear it, I feel really comfortable and really friendly rather than the old one. I think this watch I would cope better than the older version, but it depends on the consumers and if they have like really long thick hands or if they have like short and slim hands, if you get what I mean. Now this watch is packed with AI stuff. This is where I am more like convinced to buy this watch rather than the older version because this has the now bar. Yes, the phone used to have the now bar, now the watch has the now bar. This was actually kind of unexpected. Now the now bar is really useful and looks really futuristic than the older versions. This is where you feel like you are really loyal and you feel like a king, if you get what I mean. Now in terms of, you get the AMOLED display, of course, and this is where my mind was blown because it has got Gemini and Gemini Live. Yes, Gemini and Gemini Live. None of the watch in the market have Gemini and Gemini Live. Tell me one watch in the comment that has Gemini and Gemini Live. But I think in this year, none of the watch have the Gemini feature. Eventually it will come out, but this year it doesn't. Now let's talk about the Samsung Watch 8 Classic. The Samsung Watch 8 Classic is basically the same, almost the same. It's got the new design, it's got the same Gemini feature, but there is one thing that is actually really cool. It's got something known as the rotating bezels. Yeah, when I was there, I was kind of confused on how to use it. Eventually, I figured out how to use the rotating bezels. Trust me, it's really satisfying for new users that has come from different companies, like from Apple to Samsung. They would kind of struggle to figure out how to rotate it. If, to be fair, I am used to the rotating crown and the rotating bezel is new for me. And there is one more feature known as the dual frequency GPS, which means if you're like tracking location, it will be more accurate than ever. However, it doesn't make any significant differences between the older one and the new one. I am confused to whether I should buy the Classic or whether I should buy the normal 8 because I know the rotating bezels are really smooth, but in terms of rotating bezels and GPS, if you remove all of these features, really identical to the 8 versions. But yeah, as usual, they both have the same AI features. They are both inbuilt Gemini. However, the Watch 8 Classic has the dual GPS function and the 8 doesn't. And they both have this sapphire crystal glass, which means it's more protected and it's more like constructed really strong together. But yeah, that's that. That's all it has to offer. Alright, things are getting interesting. Now let's talk about the new Samsung Fold 7 because this is where I feel like the phones have really evolved from the first one to the last one. Because as you remember from the previous versions of the Fold, it was really thicker than the normal bar phone, and I wasn't really convinced to buy the new Fold. But this has really changed my perspective of looking at the Folds. So this has got 8-inch of display and it's unfolded, and when it's folded it's 6.9-inch of display. Now it should be 8-inch of display because it is the same as the iPad mini, and the price is $1,999, which is already really high, and we should expect that much of like display, and we shouldn't go any downer than this because I mean, if they would have made the inches a bit more smaller, then there would be no difference between the S25 Ultra or S24 Ultra. and the new Fold 7, it would be totally useless. Now, in terms of performance itself, you've got the new Snapdragon 8 Elite. This should be expected in terms of the price itself, because this is a flagship level of chip. We are talking about like multitasking, high intensive games, and no heating. No heating at all. Surprisingly, no heating. The chambers inside of the phone is really protected and really useful than the last time, because last time the Fold really did heat up. This time it didn't. If they would have like made everything the same and they would have said 5% of this or 5% of that, I wouldn't be satisfied to buy the phone. But this time I feel like they have made not like little that much of improvement, they have made that much of improvement, which means from really really thick to really really thin. The Samsung Flip 7 is industry changing and they really had phone on heart. I'm convinced to buy this phone as well, because this phone comes with really cool features, yet really decent chip as well. But no, I am like not convinced with the chip. I'm convinced with the performance of the chip. Now let's talk about the design. In terms of design, the design is improved, significantly improved. The screens have really small bezels, and is especially at the back of the screen. They feel like the bezels never existed or where they existed. Now, in terms of nits, they are more brighter, and of course, they have the AMOLED display as well. Now, they can like run Gemini, and they are more useful than last time. Last time, I felt like this screen was a bit more gimmicky and less useful than this phone. Now, in terms of the camera, you get dual camera setup. So you get one 10 megapixel of ultralight camera and 50 megapixel of main camera. Unlike the 200 megapixel, they should have added the 200 megapixel, but they didn't. That's that. Now, in terms of front camera, it's 10 megapixel of front camera, same as the Fold. However, this has dual and the Fold has triple. In terms of the phone, it is as usual slimmer than last time. They have decent chip. They use the Exynos chip, which is, I must say, okay for normal users and not for people who are really like intense, who do like really intense gaming. Or however, I feel like this chip is sufficient and well optimized, because I feel like the Exynos chip is optimized for like really low milliamp hours of battery rather than the Snapdragon or Dimensity chips. Now, in terms of the price, this is around $1,049. Yeah, I think the chip is justified. Now, in terms of practical use, both phones are really good. The Fold is really looks like a normal brick phone when it's folded, and the Flip also looks like the normal brick phone. However, there are things that I feel like they would have added in the Fold to make the price more justifiable. You know, like the Honor has silicon battery and they have got whopping 6,000 milliamp hours of battery, despite the thickness of the device or the creases. The battery is really huge. They would have done that, but I think Samsung optimization is better than the Honor optimization. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you agree with me or not. I had no issues with the gaming performance with the both phones, but however, the Fold performs better than the Flip, of course, of the chipset, because I felt like the Flip did heat up a little bit that much, but it wasn't all significant heat up. However, the Fold didn't. It was normal, cool, because of the chip and the optimization of Samsung. The most disappointing part is this: both of the phone is not compatible with the pen, with the Samsung pen, because I don't know why. Is it because of the size, or is it because they want to sell more S25 Ultra? Because I felt like the previous model that actually supports the pen was more useful for creators, for designers, and this phone is really huge. This is perfect for designers, and they would have added the stylus pen as well, but I don't know why they removed it. I think they should bring it back. Now, you might be thinking, well, if you are still not convinced with the features and with the thickness, well, this is the only Flips and Folds that has the Samsung Dex feature. I feel really bad for people who just like bought the new Flips and Fold last year, because this year it's totally different. But yeah, that's that. So this is the only thing that supports the Samsung Dex. So Samsung Dex allows you to stream your phone in TV and in the like monitor, something like that, and it's really useful. And now lastly, we talked about the Flips, we talked about the Folds, and we talked about the watches as well. Now we've got the software, the new One UI 8. Now, in terms of the One UI 8, I feel like where is the difference? Like in terms, you remember, right? One UI 6 and One UI 7 looks totally different in terms of the new setting bar and the now bar that was introduced. But this update was kind of really minor. Like it feels like this is the first ever minor major update, if you get what I mean. This is really minor. However, all of the flips and the folds and the watches come with the Android 16, of course. And I feel like, should I download the beta version or should I stay with the normal version? I think I should stay with the normal version because this will of course come up in all of the phones, and I feel like they will make some huge changes to it. So I should wait till next year until any major changes, and I should stay still with the older One UI 7. So finally, I hope you liked this video, and I went to the Samsung experience space. It was really a nice experience to it. I would like to say thanks to Samsung for like helping me to know about the new features, and of course know about the round bezels as well, because this was really new to me, and I felt like I was the only fool who didn't know how to use the round bezels. But anyways, I would like to say thank you to Samsung for the experience space, as it was really a nice experience. And I would like to say thank you to you all for joining in and watching till the end. Please subscribe my channel, comment something really nice, and like this video and subscribe to my channel. Press the bell icon to get more updates about the new features or new software. Until then, peace.